Biden's FBI may be why the supposed Maryland father, who was actually an MS-13 affiliated illegal alien from El Salvador, was not deported sooner. The Tennessee Star is reporting that Kilmar Abrego Garcia was detained back in December of 2022 by a Tennessee Highway Patrol officer on suspicion of human trafficking. There were 7 other people in the car with Garcia, and Garcia did not have a valid driver's license. He was reportedly transporting those individuals from Texas to Maryland when the vehicle was pulled over. Despite a number of red flags, including the possibility of at least one person inside the vehicle being on the terror watch list, Biden's FBI under Christopher Wray instructed the Tennessee Highway Patrol to document everything and then to release everyone, including Garcia. Joining us now to discuss is Michael Patrick Leahy, the CEO of the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network. Michael, thanks for being here.
Kara, it's great to be with you. This is a wild story. And the fact that the Tennessee Highway Patrol stopped a suburban, Chevy Suburban in Tennessee I think it was probably late November is when the stop occurred. We have that information from a dispatch that the detaining officer wrote and was obtained by the Federal Department of Homeland Security. That dispatch was dated December 6, 2022. Now, the details of what happened in that dispatch are quite interesting. So officers of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, probably in Putnam County, which is about halfway between Nashville and Knoxville, most likely this would be on I-40, saw a Chevy Suburban speeding and failing to maintain its lane. So they pulled this vehicle over. When they pulled it over, they observed Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the quote, Maryland man who was deported to El Salvador because he's an illegal alien with a deportation order back in March by the Trump administration. He was the driver, and he did not have a valid driver's license. Apparently, he had an expired Maryland driver's license. Maryland, of course, apparently allows illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses. Now, there were 7 other individuals in that vehicle. According to the report, Abrego Garcia confirmed that they were transporting these individuals from Texas to Maryland. Now, what was curious about this, and the officer, by the way, who made the stop is a highly decorated officer. He's on an interdiction team. And there was something about the 7 individuals and Mr. Garcia in that SUV that caused him to wonder if something odd was going on. In particular, they had no luggage. That's highly unusual. And apparently, that is sort of consistent at times with the transport of victims in human trafficking. So, and by the way, let's go back to driving without a valid license. That's a misdemeanor here in the state of Tennessee. And you can get 6 months in jail for that. Now, what we have, all of that is physically documented in this dispatch that is currently in the possession of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, but also has gone to the Homeland Security, the Federal Homeland Security. So we have a source, very good source, actually multiple sources, but in particular, a very good source who told us what happened next. Apparently, the detaining officer checked a database, and something in it told him he needed to talk to other law enforcement. So our source says he talked to the FBI. The FBI said, take a picture of all 8 individuals in this vehicle, take a picture of everything in the vehicle. They did that. And about an hour and 45 minutes later, the FBI requested that the Tennessee Highway Patrol release these 8 individuals. Now, that's unusual because if an American citizen is in a vehicle with 7 and tells the police officer that he's transporting 7 individuals from Texas to Maryland, and he's speeding, and he's driving with an expired driver's license, usually what happens is that person goes right to jail in a holding cell and then, is adjudicated thereafter. But that didn't happen in this case. So we followed up and asked the Tennessee Highway Patrol late yesterday, which is a division of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security. We asked them, hey, can you confirm what our source said, that this stop lasted an hour and 45 minutes, and you called the FBI for advice. They told you to take these pictures of all the individuals, and then they told you, requested that you release them. And of course, local law enforcement will typically comply with such requests. And sometimes requests are not that much of a request from the FBI. Now, what's interesting is, as of 5 o'clock Central Time, our deadline, the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security have not answered our question. And in fact, they said, well, if you want to get a copy of that dispatch, you need to fill out all the requirements of the Tennessee Public Records Act. It wasn't a Tennessee Public Records Act request. We wanted them to confirm or deny that they talked to the FBI. So they're dodging that question, which usually when bureaucrats dodge a question, it means they don't want to give you the answer. And what you say from your source is almost always correct.
Well, so what happens next? Will there be FOIA requests, lawsuits? I know you're in that. We just had you on last week talking about, right, for the documents, the writings of the Trans-Nashville shooter, the Covenant School shooter. So is that how this will pan out as well?
So we've asked we had a press inquiry where we asked to confirm or deny that they talked to the FBI. They didn't answer that question. We asked them to confirm the stop and the date of the stop. They didn't answer that question. And that did not require the Tennessee Public Records Act information. The request, however, for the dispatch, it probably does, and we'll file that. But we had earlier today, I'd filed a Tennessee Public Records request with the Open Records Department of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security to get all of the images and the photographs taken of all 8 individuals in that SUV that was stopped in late November in Tennessee by the Tennessee Highway Patrol, all of the documents associated with that stop and pictures of everything in that stop. You know, the driver confirmed to be the Maryland man deported to El Salvador, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He told the Tennessee Highway Patrol, this according to the dispatch, that he was just driving the vehicle for his boss, who owned a construction company. Well, we don't know the name of that boss, but if they took a picture of everything there, when we get that, we'll know who that boss was.
So there's still more developments to come on this story, and it's interesting to see. So this is coming out. We also know about the domestic violence accusations, right, that have been coming from the wife. We know police going back to 2019 and courts as well had been linking him to MS-13, even going so far as to say that he had been a member, or at least was hanging around with members, having cash and everything. So it's interesting that this is the case that Democrats are trying to use to gain sympathy against President Trump's policies regarding deportations. It really shows they have nothing left. I know Congressman Jamie Raskin, I guess he's been reduced to saying, well, you know, President Trump, we got him convicted too, so does that mean we can deport him? None of it makes sense, but that's basically the corner they've backed themselves into. So I know we're coming up on time here, so any last thoughts before I let you go tonight, Michael?
Well, we'll keep everybody posted. I think the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security has decided to stonewall us. We're going to have to file public records requests in compliance with the law. They'll take as long as possible. And I think their delay and their reluctance to share information just confirms to me that our source is correct, that they released Garcia and these other 7 individuals that were basically there. They suspected human trafficking. They released them, we believe, from our source at the instruction of the FBI.
Well, Michael, congrats on the scoop, and thanks so much for joining us.
Kara, thank you for having me on.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.